Hey there, Deadheads. Welcome back to the channel. We have another triple reaction to the Grateful Dead today, so I hope you guys are excited. Let's sit back, relax, and enjoy this one. We're going to be listening to Unbroken Chain, Not Fade Away, and Mississippi Half Step Uptown Toodaloo. The last one is a bit of a mouthful and a very interesting title at that. I don't really listen to any half step uptown Toodaloo, which seems like a genre to me, but also specifically from Mississippi, I don't think I can recall any reactions I've ever done to a song specifically devoted to Mississippi. I've done songs that reference Louisiana, Tennessee, Georgia. Oh gosh, there's definitely been more than just that, but definitely not Mississippi. So this is going to be a fun one today. Before we do jump in, though, a massive thank you to Jeffrey the Exotic, whose generous support made this reaction possible. As always, Jeffrey, I appreciate you. And now, let's jump in. We've got Unbroken Chain. I love what's right in front of me.
Blue light rain, well, unbroken chain.
Beautiful.
Looking for familiar faces in an empty window pane. Listening for the secret, searching for the sound, but I could only hear the preacher and the baying of his hounds. Willow sky.
I love how there's this consistent in terms of, sometimes you hear that in the snare, but just tempo overall. And then they're just broken up, do, with this like a very obvious rhythmic change, giving us like a bit of space to breathe, but also it's very tactful because it introduces the vocals in a way that I wouldn't expect it to.
Willow sky, whoa, I walk and wonder why. They say love your brother, but you will catch it when you try. Roll you down the line, boy, drop you for a loss, ride you out on the cold railroad and nail you to a cross. As I wait for the score, they're telling me forgiveness is the key to every door. A slow winter day and that lag forever seemed like a storm, flowed like a feather. chain of sorrow and girls, unbroken chain of sky and sea, unbroken chain of the western wind, unbroken chain of you and me.
This was a phenomenal song. Yeah, top to bottom, it's just so many moments that are intricate that stand out to me. And I guess I'll just like refer back to my previous notes here. I think I was mentioning a lot about accenting because there was a lot of moments where I think it was one of the first things I wrote actually. I like to pay attention to the moments in each track that accent certain notes, because when there are these little sharper prongs that stick out almost like a nail in like a floorboard or like a thorn in a rose, these moments, they kind of like prick your ears a little bit, and they almost in essence force you to pay attention to them in a way that allows you to bounce between each of these thorns. Now I know thorns and nails implies something that's more harsh and grating to the ear or to the body. I imply more about how pronounced it is despite the medium it inhabits. So when you have these sharper notes relative to all of the flood of musical notes, they serve like as these monkey bars, these musical branches that help us navigate this song. This is kind of just me like rehashing my own thoughts, but I think it's sometimes warranted to help explain. Oh gosh, I can't scroll effectively. Warranted to explain why I write things in the way that I do, because I feel like I have a very weird way of understanding music. Maybe it's why a lot of you enjoy my reactions to the Grateful Dead, but they also force me to understand them in a way that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to, if that makes sense. Like the music listener I was before engaging with Grateful Dead is light years behind the music listener that I am now. I feel like I've sort of leveled up in a sense. Really great song from top to bottom. Let's check out the next one here. This one is Not Fade Away. Very forceful.
I wanna love you night and day. You know our love will not fade away. You know our love will not fade away. Not fade away.
there's so much, like, I read this in a comment the other day, there's so much parallel processing required in understanding Grateful Dead. When they like do come together in certain moments of a song, it feels like, wow, this all makes sense again. And then when it kind of falls apart, it still makes sense, but in a way that defies what the human mind is supposed to do, which is, at least not supposed to. I'll say that for some segment of the population, we are very good at focusing on one task that's directly in front of us, and multitasking is very problematic. Apparently women are very good at multitasking, whereas us men struggle immensely. So I feel like I get better at parallel processing listening to Grateful Dead, but also when they do come together, it like paints this massive dichotomy between what I'm able to do and what, how can I say this? It basically puts into perspective the fact that I used to be really bad at parallel processing, and when I get to hear it all isolated by itself, I understand it even better. It's like when you learn algebra, but then you go back to like addition. It's like addition is easy all along. I don't know, man. Let's keep listening.
My love is bigger than a Cadillac. I tried to show you, but you drive me back. Your love for me has got to be real. You gonna know just how I feel. Love's real, not fade away.
These are these moments of unison. Back and forth. They're so in sync with each other, it is impressive. Dude, Brent and Jerry are just... they were meant to form this group. It's insane.
I wanna tell you how it's gonna be. You're gonna give your love to me. I wanna love you night and day. No, our love will not not fade away, not fade away, not fade away. You know our love will not fade away, not fade away, not fade away, not fade away, not fade away. You know our love will not fade away, not fade away, not fade away, not fade away, not fade away. No, our love will not fade away, not fade away. No, our love will not fade away, not fade away. No, our love will not fade away, not fade away. No, our love will not fade away,
Oh,
not fade away. No, our love will not fade away, not fade away. No, our love will not fade away.
I mean, even like if you imbue the meaning of these lyrics on the way that the song is structured, there's so much synergy here. Our love will not fade away, and then just back and forth in this call and response. It is like an affirmation to the self as well as a conversation with the other person. Like we are continually saying to one another, this love will not fade away. I say it, then you say it. You say it, then I say it. It's back and forth. But even if it was purely a conversation with the self, it's just reaffirming the fact that our love will not fade away, because like love is a choice. You continue to love somebody for however long you choose them. I really, really like the way that they've structured this song to like map the meaning into the structure, I guess.
Not fade away. My love will not fade away. Not fade away. My love will not fade away. Not fade away. Bop, 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 bop.
See, now words aren't even necessary. Now the entire crowd sings. That is so beautiful. That second beat is a little interesting. Man, I love songs like that, because when you compose something like this, you may or may not be thinking of how to engage the audience in a meaningful way. And if they are, their plan is working. If they aren't, and their songs are just naturally lending themselves to this level of audience participation, I mean, it's like the drunken master who they just do whatever they want, and it works so excellently that it feels almost fake that they're a drunken master. It's like this person is the luckiest creator on earth, but how many times can you get lucky before you have to like give them the credit that it's skill? Now, no one is detracting from Grateful Dead's ability here. It just really puts into perspective how well oiled this crazy machine is of the Grateful Dead. Because these moments, especially where the crowd is able to sing along, they resonate and they imprint on you as an individual. And again, the meaning of the song gets hammered home. The emphasis is there because now you have the audience singing that message too. No, our love will not fade away. And you just sing that in perpetuity, and then the song comes to an end. I guess in perpetuity and comes to an end is oxymoronic, but you get my point. Another beautiful one. I love the call and response. I love that they're all such amazing musicians that even despite not seeming like they're in sync at times, they find their way back to each other in these moments of unison. And then in the call and response, they manage to emulate the exact pitches and chords and voicings that the other is playing at rapid speed. It's like a very rapid fire exercise of hearing something and then having to play it exactly. I don't know how much they practice that. I'm sure many thousands more of hours than I have. It's very impressive. We still have one more song to check out here. This is the Mississippi Half Step Uptown Toodaloo. But before we do jump into this, if you are enjoying the reaction and would like to request one yourself, please hit the link in the description box below. That is the best way to support my channel. And now let's listen to the Mississippi Half Step Uptown Toodaloo. How many syllables is that?
On the day when I was born, sat down to cry. I had them all just as plain as day. It could not be denied. Can't cut even loaded dice. Ace of spades behind his ear, and him not thinking twice. Half step, Mississippi uptown. Toodaloo.
Oh, he said half step first.
Hello, baby, I'm gone, goodbye. A cup of rock and rye. Farewell to you, old southern skies. I'm on my way, on my way. Smoking love, let her retract to my feet and pray for better weather. Half step, Mississippi uptown, Toodaloo. Hello, baby, I'm gone, goodbye. Have a cup of rock and rye. Farewell to you, old southern skies. I'm on my way, on my way. Ship comes in, first man takes the sails, second takes the after deck, the third planks and rails. What's the point to calling shots? This crew ain't straight in line. Give us made of styrofoam, and no one's got the time. Mississippi Across the Rio Grande, across the lazy river, across the Rio Grande, across the lazy river, across the Rio Grande, across the lazy river.
Is that all? Maybe they'll play something in the last 20 seconds here. Gotta crack my back. So much character to the Grateful Dead. It feels weird talking now after having typed for not so long, but long enough that my voice needs time to reacclimate. As always, the Grateful Dead, such an enjoyable experience, and each time these experiences are new to me. It's hard to put into words all of the thoughts that I have. Even there, I tried to think of what was unique about the harmonies that I was hearing, right? The texture between the multiple voices. There's something abrasive, feels like a harsher word than I intend, but there is something that adds a little spice, adds a little friction to the chords, because you hear, like, if you hear like a standard pop song, for example, with the many multiple vocal layers, just let's call it 2 vocal layers, both sung from the same artist, naturally those notes are going to sound well. If there's a pleasant interval, let's call it like a minor third, it's the same voice, right? So it's going to harmonize well with itself. But there are some voices, even though they're singing consonant intervals that sound good together, the texture, the timbre of their voices may clash or add a unique spice. That's why there are really famous duos out there, because of the way their voices sound together. And it's not only the way they sound together, it's the way that your mind focuses on one voice and hears the other relative to the one you're focused on. And you could, as a different individual, have an alternate perspective where you hear singer A more pronounced in your mix or in the way you perceive music, and singer B is the referent. And the other way around is possible too. You hear singer B in the foreground and singer A is the referent. And both of those are vastly different experiences, in my opinion. If I were to like analyze this scientifically, it could be something like singer A and singer B, though they're singing the same pitches, if you choose to focus on one voice over another, make you feel a different emotion. And that may also be moderated by the effect of the interval itself, the pitches being sung, whether there's an octave gap or gender difference. It could be many different things, but that's why it was hard for me to articulate why the texture was unique, because it is unique, but it's for a far more particular reason that I'm able to efficiently express here. I love how melodic this last song was too, by the way. I was expecting Mississippi Half Step Uptown Toodaloo to be more of like, I don't know why I had like the preconceived notion that this may be more like a boogie style song than a bluesy half step uptown style song. A lot for me to discover still with the Grateful Dead, so I'm just happy you guys are joining me on this journey. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction today. If you did and would like to request one yourself, you can click the link in the description box below. And as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.